Okay. Hi. Okay. I think we're working now. I'm sorry. I'm having technical difficulties for the first time with Ecamm Live, but it says I'm live now. So hi. All right. I'm glad that you're here. Today we're going to get into it. Today we're going to talk about the very first step towards your exodus. All right. We've got a lot of new faces, a lot of new people, not a lot of new ladies in the community. Hello, a lot of new ladies. And so we're going to do a step one video today. Today we're going to talk about the first steps to your exodus, whether your exodus is a permanent move abroad, whether your exit is temporary, like bopping around as a digital nomad, or a sabbatical where you go abroad. Today we're going to answer the step one questions. Where do I start? Okay. Some of you are well past step one. I see y'all. Okay, some of you are so I hope that if you stick around, I hope that you will answer some questions, give some support, right? Tell us what you have done. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. Good morning. I apologize for the problems this morning, but I think we're okay now. Let me get myself situated here. Okay, good morning, Mom. My mom is in a women's conference this weekend called God is a Wonder. So she's stopping in to say hi, but she's not going to be with us all morning. Hey, Kat. Hello, copious Kat. Hello, Daisy. Hello, Brenda. Hey, T. Bruce. Okay, y'all doing all right? We've had a week, right, or two, or I don't know, since the last. I don't know. It's been a couple of weeks of. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if we want to talk about that. We've had a couple of terrible weeks, I'll just say. And I talked to Jay Freedom, who's the author of We Out, The Blueprint, Ending Our Abusive Relationship with America. I talked with her. We talk every couple of weeks. And she was like, yeah, I know I'm going to get some book sales, right? This is the period. This is the cycle. Things happen. People start looking at how do I get out of the country? Um, right? That's just how it happens. My own YouTube channel peaks during times like this. Okay. But as I hope you know, we're not here for you to just watch and observe. Okay. We're here to help you get your plan together. Like if that's what you want, we want you to get your plan together. We've gotten our plans together. Okay. And so we're here this morning to holler at our sisters. Hey, Kathy, thank you. We're here this morning to holler at our sisters who are new, right? Our sisters who are just starting to work on, or who are just starting to ask the question, right? How do I leave the United States? Okay. Annabella, I want to be out in 30 days. Good morning. I can't get it on the screen. Okay, good morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, friends. Okay, good morning, Francis. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Fran. Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Senior Insurance Advisor, who I've never asked your first name. Hello. Good morning, Courtney. Good morning, KB. All right, so today I've got six questions that I think are the first questions that are step one. I don't know. Can six things be the first step? Sure. Okay. Step one, where is it safe? Okay. This is what we're going to work through today. Get your notebooks out. I'm going to tell you that. Get your notebooks out. Step one, where will I be safe? Step two, so then how do I move there? Question number three, how can I afford to live there? Okay. Because getting there is a lot easier than living there. Number four, how can I be happy there? How can I thrive there? Because we may initially leave out of a sense of urgency, right? We may initially leave because of a big, that feeling of I got to go, safety. We may initially leave to put ourselves and our families in a safer position, but we also want to be happy. We also want to thrive, right? And then number five, okay, so what about the kids? And then number six, okay, so what about the spouse? So I think we're going to get through these today. We'll see. All right. So this is part one of step one, maybe. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School, and I'm the co-creator of Exodus Summit. I help Black women take a sabbatical or move abroad or bop around as a digital nomad or house sit. I help Black women embrace ease. If this sounds good to you, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. And make sure that you turn on notifications. Ring that notification bell so that you will be notified when I post a new video. Welcome. All right. It's a lovely day after a couple of ugly days here. So my dad's outside doing car repair. You're going to hear him doing car repair. This is what it is. Okay. But I got to have the windows open. It's not turn the air on weather, right? It's keep the windows open weather. So I have the windows open. I'm in Exotic Dover, Delaware with my parents. I have a house sit also in Exotic Dover, Delaware next week, but I'll be here until we go to Cancun. So I'll be probably, or I don't know. It is possible that I'll pick up another house sit. But anyway, that's where I am enjoying things. Okay. So let's talk about it. Anybody have anyone new here and anyone just this week decide, listen, I have to leave the country. Seriously. If that's you, welcome. Hi. All right. This is the whole basis behind this YouTube channel. Okay, there's an entire movement of Black women who are saying, I don't want to live in struggle. I want ease. Can I live in a country where things are going to be a little easier for me? A little safer or a lot safer? A little cheaper or a lot cheaper? A little better weather or a lot better weather, right? Is that a possibility for me? It is. Some of the women in this chat are in that place right now. So we are going to walk through these steps. So step number one, yes. Okay, I'm looking at the chat just to make sure, see if there's anyone who's brand new. Okay, step number one, where is it safe? In times like these, right, that becomes the first question. But you want to prioritize safety because you're in an unsafe situation today, right? But I'm here to tell you, for the most part, you don't have to make safety your number one priority when you leave the country because other places are just safer. They're just safer. And so you don't have to think about safety all the time. Your safety doesn't have to be in the forefront of your mind. So we're going to keep where is it safe number one, but the answer is probably any place you're thinking about going. Probably. Anybody, you want to tell us where are you going? Okay, I'll tell you my places. I really like Lisbon, Portugal. I was like, I really like Lisbon, Portugal. I enjoyed myself in Curacao in the Caribbean, although I wouldn't want to live there. I would want to visit there again. I enjoyed a lot of the Southeast Asia. I spent a whole year traveling around Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines. Wonderful, right? So I have a lot of favorite places. South Africa, even. South Africa is safer for expats. South Africa is safer for Black women, like American Black women and British Black women, I think, than it is for South African Black women. I'll say that, right? I think but Costa Rica, yes, Costa Rica is also a place that I'll probably spend my winter this year. So places on the list that you want to go are probably places where Turkey, yes. I can't forget Turkey. I'm just acting like Turkey doesn't exist because I had to cancel my trip. Had to cancel my trip to Turkey. And so I'm just acting like it doesn't exist. All right. Japan's absolutely safe. Like, yes. Japan is a place y'all watch. Netflix. Japan and South Korea are places where people send small children out to do errands alone. Right. Safe, like safer than safe. Belize. Yes. Okay. What about Greece and Turkey? Okay. So in terms of, I'm an American, I'm a Black American person. Where can I go and be safer than I am in the United States of America? Take your pick. Like literally, seriously, take your pick. There are some unsafe places, but there are places you don't want to go. I wouldn't want to go to Venezuela. Venezuela is collapsing before our very eyes. I wouldn't want to go there. They're trying to get out. Maybe the Dominican Republic. I hear a lot of people lately talking about moving to the DR. There are male YouTubers who make a lot of content about the Dominican Republic. I don't know I would put that on I wouldn't do it list. Looking like this, right? Being an obviously Black person, not racially ambiguous, or perhaps I am indigenous, or, I would not necessarily consider the Dominican Republic safe, but there are other parts of the Caribbean there. super duper safe, right? Tamara says London. There you go. Like in London, the police don't carry guns. The police don't carry guns. Nobody's got a gun in London. They had to. I watched a thing where a driver hit, it's like a little their version of cops. The UK version of cops. A man hit a deer or something. He hit some sort of animal in the road, and the animal didn't die. He was dying slowly, and they wanted a police officer to come and shoot the animal. A police officer came and had to call another police officer who had a gun to come and shoot the deer to put it down. Yeah, right. UK, a very safe place, also very house sitter friendly. Maybe we'll slip some house sitting conversation in here. Janelle, hi Janelle. I think this is just my opinion. So South Africa does have a problem with violence against women. Yes, right. But it's just wherever you go as an American, you're going to be treated better. You're going to get more privilege. You're going to be in different circles, right? You're going to be have a different economic status. A lot of places are classist, not necessarily racist. They don't necessarily judge and treat people based on their race. They judge and treat you based on your class. And if you can afford to move to South Africa, you have a class status that provides you some extra safety. You know what I'm saying? All right, Denmark and Norway, safe. Mexico City, okay. So hi Jade, I'm moving to Mexico City in 2 months. Thank you for planting the seed. You're very welcome. That's wonderful. 2 months is June, July, August. Okay, so we'll be in Mexico, but in Cancun, which is not near Mexico City, and we'll be there in July, not August. Congratulations, Jade. So Mexico City, another place where you're probably going to be much safer than you are in the United States of America, right? Mexico City is a huge city, a city of all different types of neighborhoods, all different types of economic status. More museums than any city, or more museums than Paris. I don't know if it's more museums than any city. More museums than Paris, more Michelin rated restaurants than, I think Tokyo might be ahead of Mexico City in Michelin star restaurants, but almost, right? Wonderful city in a wonderful country where, yeah, you're going to feel safer than you feel here. Hi, plant your seeds of transformation. Hi, Don. This is Donna. Yes, you changed your screen name, I think. My Vietnamese nail tech confirmed that people just can't carry guns in this country. They just don't, not in Vietnam, like in the world. In the world. People don't have guns. Like, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing in other parts of the world. Not mentally healthy people, not mentally ill people, not civilians, not what are they called? Not Well, in some places the civilians can't get access to guns, like in Mexico. Civilians, very difficult for a civilian to get access to guns. But the police do carry machine guns. They walk around with the average police officer in Mexico does have a machine gun, right? Let me think about what they are. They're not the AR. They're not like, I think they're machine guns and not rifles. I think that's a distinction. I'm putting my military experience to shame, but I don't think they carry rifles. I think they're machine guns. Right? Indonesia, safe. Indonesia's a wonderful country. All right. Sonia, looking like Portugal because these long rainy seasons and humidity in Latin America are beating me down. Okay. So Portugal advertises 300 days of sunshine. That's part of their marketing campaign. 300 days of sunshine. They don't get a lot of rain. It does get cooler. It does get colder probably in Lisbon than it does in, well, I don't know. I'm trying to think maybe like Panama City, right? So it gets colder, of course, but less rain, and it's not a tropical climate. Yeah, I agree, Ash. I've seen some people lately talking about the Dominican Republic, but I think that's men. Men and women have different needs. Men and women have different experiences in places. And so I think you see a lot of men, particularly straight men, heterosexual men, talking about places where I wouldn't tell you to go. I wouldn't tell you to live, right? There's a difference between visiting and living there. I don't know that you're going to be treated well as a black looking black woman in the Dominican Republic. I don't think so. I don't know. They're still fighting actively to take people of Haitian descent out of the country, even if they were born there, right? Just because they don't want you there. As a person who, yeah, they're, I don't know that I'm gonna be treated well in there. And yeah, so I wouldn't put that on the list of safe places, whether we're talking about physical safety or they're all physical safety, but whether we're talking about safety in terms of that's all physical, and I wouldn't consider it a it's a physically safe place, but I have heard women talking about it recently. Okay. Yes, right. Tamara says most of the men are going to the DR for the women and for women who don't look like me. And so they don't realize what women who do look like me, how women who do look like me are treated or how people who do look, but they'll get it. They'll, because it'll touch them too, right? If they don't like black women, eventually they're also not going to treat black men well. Auntie Lou, no guns in South Korea. Yeah. Yes, right? It sounds strange. I know it sounds strange to some people, right? So this is why when you start talking about is it safe? Is it safe? Like, do you feel safe where you live? Really? Like, really? Do you feel safe where you live? No, you don't. But you could. You could live someplace where you do feel safe. Okay. Angie, see, we agree. Mexico City is a very good place to start. If you're a city person, it's the city. If you're a city person, it's a very good place to be. I'm not a city person. I like Mexico City. I visited there this winter and I got stuck there. And it was fine, right? Just saying, Barbados, we talked to Jamila, not Jamila. We talked to Jamila from Barbados not too long ago about a lot of black women moving to Barbados. So Southeast Asian countries had a significant lockdown during COVID, and I don't know that we can get there now, right? I don't know that Americans can get to Southeast Asia now. I don't know what's happening because I haven't looked. I haven't asked. But during COVID, there was a significant lockdown. Tourists, people on the tourist visas and the digital nomad visas had to leave. And I don't know when things are going to be opened back up in Southeast Asia for us to return. If anyone knows, let us know, right? Because Eve Hackett and her husband got locked down in Southeast Asia. They were in Thailand when COVID jumped off, and then I think they moved over to Indonesia. And then eventually they got told they had to leave. It wasn't a place that they could stay. New Zealand, another super safe country with women in power. They have a really like good reputation of being an equal society. Same Ireland, also very nice. Ireland has a reputation of being just good people in general. All right, Tokyo is ahead. That's what I thought when I got to Japan. I only spent less than a full day in Japan. It was just a long layover. I was like, either these people are living in the future, either I have landed in the future, or my country sucks. It only took like 16 hours, 18 hours in Japan for me to be like, we're doing it all wrong. Everything, everything. Spend a week in Tokyo and see if you don't want to leave the country, leave the United States for good, right? Like seriously. That's all. Literally, that's all it took, right? You get on the clean, on time train with enough seats for everyone to actually sit down. You go to a place. Where people don't stare, even though I knew good and well some of these kids. You get on the train. There were kids riding the train to school or back from school. I know these kids don't see a black person every day. I know they don't, right? No staring, no looking at, no treating me like I'm any different than any other person. I can't say that would happen in daily life, but as a tourist, right? You go and order your food from like a jukebox I had ramen in Tokyo from like a jukebox ordering system. It was really advanced. I know a jukebox makes it sound like it was an old thing, but it was like a really advanced way of doing things. Terrible beer, I will say. The beer in Japan is terrible, but they are advanced. Like just that little bit of time, landing in the airport, getting on the train, getting to my destination, getting food. I'm like, this society is advanced. They're in the future in Japan. They literally are in the future. Okay. So where are you safe? Everywhere. Good morning, Adelia. Thank you. My hair is going through some things. I decided to dye my hair again. I'm like torn between dyeing it and letting it just be gray. It's very, 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 very gray. Very, 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 very gray. And so I decided to dye it again, and so I stopped putting products in it because with my hair, I use a lot. I'm heavy-handed with products, so I decided to stop putting products in it and let it be really dry for a couple of days, and then I didn't dye it. So then 3 weeks later, I'm like, I need to decide, and then now I'm like, I might as well wait until we're closer to Cancun. If I dye it now, it'll be grown out too much when we go to Cancun. Anyway, not you didn't ask me all that, but I'm going through hair things right now, where I'm like 1 foot in dyeing it and 1 foot in not dyeing it. When I don't, when I mean permanent dyes, semi-permanent, whatever. It lasts a couple weeks, but I really want it permanently dyed. Where is it safe? Okay, all over. Did I answer? Nobody has questions? Because we're going to move on to number two. Hi, Spirit Soul Sense is Charisse. I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands. We like tourists. There's a gun problem among the young black men, government issues, but overall a great place for black women. Okay, thank you. Hi, Charisse. All right. Okay, so no questions about safety. Okay, number two. So then how do you move there? All right, so you find a place that you're into. You find a place that looks perfect, right? They have the good weather, they have the good cost of living. I'm skipping over some things. So we do need to take a look. Okay, how do you move there? Two-part process, I think. Yeah. Number one, you figure out how much you look at cost of living in different places. How much, how low or how high are you willing to go? Um, I'm trying to think if there's like so numbeo.com. Let me link to our work from anywhere toolkit. Numbeo.com is a resource where you can compare your city to cities all over the world for cost of living. Let me find the link to the work from anywhere toolkit. Links. Toolkit. Copy. I can't copy and paste without saying copy and paste. Y'all already know that. Copy and paste, okay? So once you find some places, watch some videos, talk to some people, and you find some places that you're into, look at the cost of living seriously. Look, do a serious comparison. You can just compare your city to another city. I don't usually do Dover. I usually do Baltimore, right? I'm from Delaware. I compare the Baltimore or Philadelphia cost of living to places all around. In my opinion, in my mind, not for you, in my mind, I don't want to stay permanently in a place where the cost of living is higher than here. That's just me. And that could change. Right? Anything can change. We can change our minds at any time. But that's my opinion, right? So I look for places where the cost of living is lower than the cost of living in Philadelphia or Baltimore. Numbeo is a good calculator for that. But in the Work From Anywhere toolkit, we list a couple of different calculators where you can find the cost of living, right? So how do you get somewhere? You find the cost of living for a place and you find their um, residency situation. You find out how to get residency there, okay? Because we're not talking about getting citizenship, which is something a lot of people think. You don't need citizenship in another country to live in another country, right? Just like people live here on a green card, they have residency. Some of them can work, some can't. They all pay taxes, right? You can become a resident in another country. Also, in the Work From Anywhere toolkit, you'll find links to our Getting Residency workshops for France, Mexico, Portugal. There has to be one more. Getting Residency in France, Mexico, and Portugal. Okay. Help me, Rashida. Okay. So, we're talking about residency, not citizenship. We're also not talking about relying on the tourist visa. So, AARP Miss Me, what AARP Miss Me is talking about is going someplace just on the tourist visa and then leaving when your tourist visa expires and then coming back when they let you. Okay. You can do that. They call it a visa run. But at any time, you're at the mercy of one particular person at the airport, right? One person at the airport can ruin your day or your week, right? One person at the airport can say, oh no, you can't enter, right? You've been here so many days out of so many. You're supposed to only be here 90 days out of 180. You can't come back into this country, right? So the visa run is fine for trying a place, right? Going there on a tourist visa, wonderful. Try it out. With that U.S. passport, you've got privileges, right? With that U.S. passport, you get 90 days in most of the world. Easy. You can stay. Some places only 60, some places 180, right? But I wouldn't rely on it for I live in this country, but I'm not a resident of this country, and I'm relying on the border agent to let me in every time, right? So the visa run is a thing that you can do, but get residency. Like seriously, these countries have a pathway to residency. Get residency. Rashida, thank you. So our workshops are on getting residency in Mexico, France, and Portugal. Okay, if you get the Work From Anywhere toolkit, you'll get the link to those workshops. They're separate, individual workshops. And they have fairly easy pathways to residency, right? Once you're a resident there, then if you want to deal with citizenship later, you can deal with it. You may find you don't care about it, right? You don't care about being a citizenship. What you need is to be able to be in the country, right? The difference between residency and citizenship, I don't know. So in some places, you have to be a citizen to vote. Or maybe every place. I don't know. I don't know. I've never asked that question. Some places you need to be a citizen to vote. Some places you don't, I'm sure. Right. So, not citizenship, residency. Not a tourist visa over and over, residency. Okay? So how do I move there? How do I move to a place as opposed to just visiting a place? Getting residency in that place. I've got a couple of really good videos here that talk about this a little more at length, including I've linked in the description to 8 things you need if you want to move abroad. And I have another video called 6 things to do next week if you want to move abroad. But this is a more condensed version. Get residency somewhere, right? I'm working on residency. So what are we congratulating Terry for? Let me look. Terry. Recently obtained temporary residency from Mexico. Congratulations, Terry. Yes, right? So you start the residency process in another country. Most people start it in the U.S. Then they approve you. You fly into Mexico. Then once you fly into Mexico, they do whatever. Voila, boom, resident of Mexico. Now, if things go bad, like really bad, here in the United States, you have a country where you belong. You have a country that you know will take you in. That's the other point of residency. It's not only are you not at the whim of the border agent, but you're also not under the control of the U.S. government's relationship with that country, right? At any given time, the U.S.'s relationship with that country could go south, and they could be like, no, y'all not coming, right? Y'all totally blundered the COVID situation. Y'all can't come, which is what New Zealand has done, right? It was a long time before New Zealand let Americans back in. And I think Southeast Asia, some of these countries still are like, no, y'all fumbled it. Y'all can't come, right? So having residency in a country means you are not at the mercy of the United States' relationship with that country either. You are a resident. I go here. right? I think it's important for us Black people to have a place who will take us in. Okay, I don't want to sound the alarm, but it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better. If you're relying, if your life plan is to hope that white people become better people, in the American white people, and I need to say this, American white people are different from white people in different places, right? If your hope and prayer is that white people will become better people, get a new plan, right? I think that new plan is residency in another country that will take you in anytime. You just show up and they take you in. That's what residency means. Yes. And TNT, thank you for this. Yes. So there are countries that have residency programs specifically for retired people, and retirement doesn't necessarily mean over a certain age. So TNT says Belize has a QRP program for people 45 and over with 2K income per month. QRP is qualified retired persons, right? There are countries that all you need is a certain amount of monthly income or cash, like savings, investments, like money in the bank somewhere, right? A statement that says, I have this much money. You need one or the other to get in. And they're not necessarily, even though some of them are called retirement things or pensioner things, pensioner visas, they don't mean you have to be 65. They just mean you have to have some access to some money, access to some recurring money. Yes, lots of countries, lots of countries. I don't know about lots, but I think lots. Lots. Most countries rely on immigration in some way or another. Yeah. The empty nester. I've heard from a couple of other YouTubers that there's a new temporary residency program that doesn't require financial solvency. Just pay the fee. What country? Do you know what country? Dan S. No African countries. Nobody. So this is a channel for Black women who are looking to embrace ease. This is a channel for Black women who are looking to do a whole lot less in their lives. A lot of African countries will require you to do things, require you to do more, not less, in your life, in your daily life. We talked to Ashley in Africa, who has a housekeeper and a maid and a driver, and like is living the life of ease in Tanzania, right? But that's not always the case. Some countries, like Ghana, requires you to pay 2 years rent in advance, right? And so that's why a lot of people move to Ghana and then have to start working. Like, I didn't spend all my money to get here, and now I need a job. I have an anti-job bias. I'm leaning away from jobs as your income. Uh, and so there are some places. I started off talking about South Africa. There are places in Africa that you can go and embrace ease. And South Africa is a place where you can go and embrace ease. And Ashley said Tanzania as well. But there are also places in Africa where it's not going to be ease. And so that's why you're not going to find too many people on this channel saying that. Because when Black men in particular, when straight Black men say go to Africa, they're telling us to go to Africa to build. We're not doing that. This is ease. Okay? We're not doing that. It's not our job to build. We built a country. We built a country. We're not going and got nothing to show for it. We're not going to do that again. We're not going to just keep repeating the cycle. We're not going to keep repeating the cycle, building a country with our own sweat, our own lives, and then nothing to show for it. No, we're going to embrace ease. We're going to go to a place where we can just hammock. Hammock. Yes, I have an anti-job bias. I listen, this whole concept that the job is the way, it's not the way. It's not the only way. Hope, what about Ecuador? Another good option. Lots of people living, thriving, happy in Ecuador. I think Ecuador has a much even lower cost of living than some of the other, like Costa Rica, right? A much lower cost of living. So I'm not sure why people don't talk about it as much, why Black people don't talk about it as much. So I'm curious to see if it's just because they don't feel super welcome there, if we don't feel welcome there, or if it's just because we don't know yet, which is what I think it is with Costa Rica. With Costa Rica, I think we don't talk about it because we don't know yet. We don't know how awesome it is yet. With Ecuador, I'm a little suspicious. I'm a little suspicious. All right. Where is it safe? How do I move there? Where is it safe? Everywhere. How do I move there? Find out the residency situation. Okay? Find out that residency situation and work on it. Find a place where you qualify for residency. Okay? That may mean, as we've been told by TNT, that you just need income of over a certain amount. Could be $2,000-3,000 per month. Can get you residency in quite a few places. $2,000 or $3,000 a month is a part-time or a full-time remote job, right? So don't ignore the remote job as a path to life abroad. Now, not all remote jobs are actual remote jobs. Sometimes they call them remote jobs and they just mean work from home in this state, right? There are places that are remote jobs, but you can work remote for like Amazon customer service or whatever, but you have to be in Delaware. That's not remote, that's work from home. I want them to understand that. We're talking about a job that does not care where you are. There are jobs out there that do not care where you are. That's the type of remote job that can get you on the path to wherever in the world you want to be, right? Remote job. Lily, heading to Ecuador once visa is issued later this year. Okay, Lily, keep us posted, okay? I'm really curious about that. I'm really curious. A lot of the Black women who stop in Mexico, right? They start looking at places and they stop in Mexico. I wonder, would they like a place like Ecuador? I just had a one-on-one call this week with a woman who wants to check out Ecuador. And I wonder if they don't go to Ecuador because of for a reason or just because they don't know yet, right? I think with Costa Rica, it's just that people don't know. People don't know it yet. Okay, good. Terry's given info in the chat about her residency process. Okay. All right. Yes. Yes, DP says I visited the Virgin Islands and it's expensive. Yes, right? So this is why we need to figure out part of how do I move there is how am I making money? And so what is my budget? We're not going to ignore the budget situation. I feel like I didn't do a good job of saying that. Part of how do I move there is what is the cost of living? What is my budget? Where does my budget fit? Right? Where in the world can I go on my cost of living? But I'm here to tell you, in Central America and Mexico, which is North America, in Central America and Mexico, you'll probably find a place within your budget. Or yeah, you'll find a place within your budget, right? If you have some sort of income or some sort of cash that gives you like investment income. If you have cash, income, or investments, yeah, cash, income, or investments, you can find a place for you. And in Mexico or Central America, there are inexpensive places, right? Merida is still cheap. Is Merida still cheap, y'all? So Merida, Mexico I think it's still pretty cheap, but it's hot. You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. But there are other places. Morelia, Mexico, I really liked. If you're I'm a small town person. I like a small town where I have access to a mall. Right? Give me a small town with an access to a city or a mall, I'm happy. Morelia, Mexico, super cheap. I think you could get an apartment there for about $300-400 for the month. Um, what is that place? There's another place, other parts of Mexico, right? Guanajuato is still pretty inexpensive. Maybe like, yeah, inexpensive. It's hard to say what things cost because just because I say you can get a place for $500 a month, like, what does it look like, right? But so there are parts of Mexico and parts of Central America where you can do it on your budget. Southeast Asia also, but again, remember, Southeast Asia has had a more stringent lockdown and COVID is still here. And I don't know what their situation is in terms of letting people in. I don't know. I really don't know. You have to look, right? Just look it up. If Thailand looks amazing to you, look up, figure out what they're doing. Do your research, do your Googles, and then get in community with people in those places, get in community with other expats and other Americans and other Black people in those places so that you have somebody who can keep you up to date on changes. Okay, some of you guys are looking at Ecuador. Okay, report back, please, if you don't mind. Okay, see me. I went to Ecuador on vacation and loved Cuenca and considered living there. Okay, okay, and you felt like you were treated well. Okay, all right. I wondered. I feel like I know that about Costa Rica. Are foreign language skills a barrier to living in a new country? No, because you can learn it. I would say pick a country where you feel like you can learn the language, which is why another reason that these Spanish speaking countries rise to the top. I know a lot of people like Belize because they speak English, right? And on top of other things, it's beautiful, it's Caribbean, right? But they like it because they speak English in Belize. So no, I don't think a language. I don't think the foreign language is a significant barrier. It's 2022. There are tools that you can use in the meantime, right? While you're learning the language, there are tools that you can use. Google Translate takes you very far, right? You make some friends, make some bilingual friends. They will be helpful in a pinch. Yeah. But you can learn the language. That's why when I started looking at Southeast Asia, I didn't, I knew that, like, I loved Vietnam. I love the food. I'm gonna tell you, it's the food. It's the food. I ate so good in Vietnam for like $2 a day or something. I don't know, maybe like $5 a day. Um, but I would never be able to learn the language. I would never be able to communicate. I was there for 2 months in Vietnam and I couldn't never learn how to say hello. Like literally, could not learn how to say hello because if the person is a woman or a man, you say it differently. If they're in your generation, you say one thing. If they're in your parents' generation, you say another thing. If they're in your grandparents' generation, you say another thing. And if they're a woman in your child, like they're like younger than you, but they're female, right? It was just too complicated. I couldn't say hello. And that was another reason that I thought Malaysia was going to be a good choice. Malaysia and Indonesia, their language, Bahasa Malaysia and Bahasa Indonesia, pretty easy to learn for English speakers, right? The alphabet looks like our alphabet. Pretty easy. Yeah, so I think it's important to put that on your list because we want to go to places and make sure that we're communicating with people and not living there as an American. We want to live there as a person who has immigrated to their country. And one of the ways it's important for us to do that is to learn the language, but you can learn it once you get there. You can start now, of course. There are tools to help you start now, but you can learn it once you get there. Yes, Queen P, I've heard the food in Ecuador is bland. I've heard that in a lot. Yes, Colombia, I've heard that in both places. I don't know. I think so in because I'm a house sitter, I have a lot of Canadian friends and they in Canadians will go to a restaurant and pull out maple syrup out of their purse. Like we going out to breakfast. We're going out for breakfast or brunch or whatever. It's going to be a good time, okay? But I don't trust these people's syrup. I have my own maple syrup in my purse. I have seen it. I have seen Canadians pull maple syrup out of their purse. You can't trust these people. Some places it's not syrup. Some places they'll just have like cane syrup or whatever. But some places it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. The color, it's food coloring and like, yeah, right? I don't trust these people. I travel with my own maple syrup. So I don't know, is the food to a point where you don't want to deal with it? Or could you navigate this just by BYOS, bring your own spices? I haven't been to either one yet, so I don't know. I don't know. Okay, then how can so number three, where is it safe? Number two, how do I move there? Number three, how can I afford to live there? You know what? I don't know. I'm not doing a good job with this list. I wrote the list out and then I'm just all over. So now we're supposed to talk about how can I afford to live there. I'm telling you, it's probably remote work. If you don't already have the cash, which some of y'all do, Black women have reserves. Black women have reserves. Black women, especially women who have not had the ability to rely on another person, right? Black women who have been single, y'all got cash. Y'all got it. Okay, just spend it. You got it. You got it. Just spend it, right? But if you don't have it, is the remote work the answer? How can I afford to live there? Okay, let's talk about medical access. This is another thing that is really complicated for Americans, not complicated in other parts of the world. This is like guns, okay? Healthcare and guns in the US are very US only situations, right? There's that gun situation in the US is a situation you're only going to get in the US. Okay. Now, we did just hear about the Virgin Islands, but I would guess it's not on this level, right? Not to this extreme, right? Same with the healthcare situation, with the scarcity and the expensiveness of healthcare. That's a very American thing. Okay. So, what do people do when they go to other countries, when they move abroad? What do they do for healthcare? They get private insurance. They get on if you have residency, you may have, let's start from the beginning. If you have residency in another country, you may have access to their public health care, their national health care. We don't understand that, but it is a thing, right? There are countries where you're a resident or a citizen, you have health care. I know. It sounds weird, like, but what do you mean? I mean, you have health care. I was in the Army, so it makes sense to me. I was in the Army. I went to the doctor. I never paid. I got my prescriptions. I never paid, right? Some places have some sort of national health care that is fueled by the tax system. So if you're a resident, you have access. Or if you're a citizen, you have access, right? So what you do is you find out if you have access to their national health care. Now, if you're going to a place with a very low cost of living, you may find that the national health care is not up to par for you. You're going to want private health care, okay? Private health care is just a matter of you getting private medical insurance. And I haven't talked to a woman yet who paid more than $1,500 for the year for private medical insurance in her country. I've talked to women in Mexico, Portugal, France, Mexico, Portugal again. We didn't ask Ashley in Tanzania. I would check out Ashley in Africa. She's giving good information on her life in Tanzania. Ashley in Africa with a K. I would ask her about her insurance situation. She's got kids, 2 kids. I did this, 2 kids. There are 3 of them. But yes, okay. So so once you get to a country, you probably have access to their national. If you're there as a resident, you may likely have access to their national health care. Okay. With Costa Rica, you do on the rentista visa, but not the. I think Costa Rica has a digital nomad visa and the rentista visa. You don't get it. You don't get access to health care on the digital nomad visa, but you do on the rentista. Okay. So national health care, which is the public health care system, and then you upgrade yourself to the private health care. And I promise you, I have not asked a woman this question and had her say it was more than $1,500 for the year for her private health care. This gives her the private in hospitals with the that give you sheets, right? In Mexico, the public hospital, Adelia and Rashida talk about this a lot. In Mexico, the public hospitals, they don't provide you meals. Your family's supposed to bring you meals, right? So if you want to get yourself into the private hospital. Okay. So medical stuff is a reason that we stay on in bad situations in the United States, but it's actually a reason to leave the United States because it's better out there. It's better out there. Look at the countries that you're interested in going to and see what their public health care looks like. Do they provide health care for residents? And then what does their private health care look like? And can you get insurance to be seen in a private hospital and with private doctors? And right in Mexico, the women's exam out of pocket, right? Without any insurance. I'm not a resident of Mexico. I don't have any access to their public health care system. A women's exam, I want to say $100, $150 for that annual exam out of pocket, right? So I am a person who doesn't have residency anywhere else yet, so I just pay for stuff out of pocket. It's still so much cheaper, right? In Thailand, in the Philippines, I contracted leishmaniasis. It's a disease, a bug disease. Bugs bit me and it's gross. Don't Google it. And I went to the emergency room in a private hospital and got, actually, I don't remember if it was a private hospital or a public hospital. Went to emergency room in a hospital on the island. Got seen by the doctor, got treated, got 2 or 3 different prescriptions. She gave me the antibiotic. She gave me the stuff in case the antibiotic upset my stomach, and she gave me Benadryl or whatever. Uh, $30 or $40. I can't remember now exactly. I used to always know the exact numbers, but I'm losing things. But I want to go with $30 or $40. I'll say less than $40 US for that. Right. So out of pocket, if you're bopping around, you still do need insurance that will cover you in the event of catastrophe, right? So I do have insurance that covers me in the event of medical evacuation, uh, in case I need to be medically evacuated someplace or my body needs to be medically evacuated, right? I have that insurance through Alliance. It don't cost me much at all. I don't know, $200 for 6 months or something ridiculous. I don't know. It might be more than that. Um, how am I doing? Sometimes, sometimes I feel like I'm really like all over the place, and then I rewatch and I'm like, oh, I did okay. But today, I think I will be like, yes, you were all over the place. Okay, healthcare. So we talked health. That's healthcare. Okay, but Adelia and Rashida both have better videos on their channels. Adelia is Picky Girl Travels the World, and Rashida is Sheeta's on the Loose. You're going to find better healthcare information there. Okay. Where is it safe? How do I move there? How can I afford to live there? Okay, and then how can I thrive there? How can I be happy? This is community, right? Spoiler alert, form community with people, learn the language, get to know people, make friends. We're not just going places to escape, right? The point is not just like, oh, I left the United States to be in a safer environment, but now I'm just going to hunker down here. No, we're going to live, we're going to thrive. Okay, thank you, Anne. I need encouragement. Thank you. Thanks, friends. All right. So, yeah, we want to actually thrive, live a full life in 360 degrees. One of the reasons that I talk so much about going to lower cost of living places is that it gives you that, right? Then you don't have to focus on work, right? Go to a place where you live on, Rashida says a lot of times you can move to a place where you can live your whole life on if all month on what you're paying just for housing where you are today, right? Right. So you're just your housing payment, not housing plus utilities plus food, or right, just their housing payment. That amount can probably give you a good life in a good percentage of the world. That's a really good starting point when we're talking about how much money do I need. And we Alliance, ALLIANZ. If you have the Work from Anywhere toolkit, all the insurance info is also in the Work from Anywhere toolkit, which I think is this. Yeah. Yeah. Get that Work from Anywhere toolkit. All the good resources. I'm telling you, we put all the good resources in there. Okay. So, yeah, we want to thrive. We want to live a good life. We want to try new things. We want to meet new people. We want to meet parts of ourselves that we hadn't met yet. We want to learn and fail and learn and try other things. Yeah, so where can you do that? And I think this, what I was getting at here is no winter weather. What are your priorities, right? For me, my priorities, no winter weather. I don't want to experience winter weather. I don't. All right. You might not care about that. I want to date. I want men who are who are at least average 5'8", 5'9", right? If the average man in the country is 5'8", I'll be able to find someone taller than me, right? Uh, Find your priorities for your life. I want children. I want to adopt. I think, I mean, I know I want to adopt. I think that's going to be the path to kids for me. Could be, I'm open to any thing, right? I'm open to other things. We talked about surrogacy the other day. I'm open to other things. But like, should I look for a country where they allow single women to adopt, right? What do you need in your life to thrive? Put that on your list. Yes, put it on your list. This is something that we're going to factor in. We're not going to treat this like this is an emergency escape and all we're doing is getting to a place to be safe. We want to thrive. We want to live. We want to live a full life. And so put these things, the things that you need to live a full life, put them on your list. I need no winter weather. I need no winter weather. I need the average man to be at least 5'8". I like to be like, I need access to seafood. I don't necessarily need to be near a beach as long as I have a pool. Like, I'm fine with a pool. Right? I need to be able to get back to the United States on a nonstop 6-hour flight or less, back to either DC or New York or Philly. 6-hour nonstop flight, right? So then this is where you decide what you need to make sure that you're thriving, right? Not just landing somewhere and okay, but like really happy. You can be happy. You can be happy. You can be happy. I think that when we start talking about, we talk to women who have burnout, we talk to women who are going through like serious workplace abuse, right? Workplace toxicity. And so they start thinking about just, I got to get somewhere. I got to get somewhere before I break down. Yes to that. Yes to moving yourself out of a toxic situation ASAP. Okay, asaptually. But also, like, where can you thrive? Part of this means that you can get somewhere and then find the better place later. Some of you will be fine getting someplace that's good, but then finding a better place later. The key to that is just not have a bunch of stuff. Don't have a bunch of stuff with you. 3-4 suitcases is plenty. Not shipping containers and all of that, right? Once you start shipping things, you are putting roots down in a place. But if you give yourself the opportunity to bop around, see what you like, that's free. That's freeing. That's freedom. In the Exodus Summit Facebook group, we had 2 different women today who were like, hey, I've been in Mexico for over a year, and now I'm going to, Deborah's going to, I think Deborah said she's going to Portugal, and Tony didn't tell us. Tony was being secretive about where she's going next, right? So these were women who I thought were just in Mexico and we're going to stay in Mexico. They're like, oh no, this was step 1. We on step 1, right? I'm going to see the world. Both of them are women who are close to retirement age. I think Tony is over 65. Tony might be here today. Over 65, right? Someone commented, this is not realistic for people in their 60s. Yes, it is, because they're doing it. It's women in their 60s out here bopping, out here thriving, right? Let me put the Exodus Summit Facebook group link here. All right. Boom. Boom. Okay, so the Exodus Summit Facebook group is a group for Black women planning their sabbatical, their move abroad, their digital nomad life, house sitting life, right? Join us at exodussummit.com/community, or you can just look for Exodus Summit on Facebook. Okay, Black women only. If you don't have a picture of yourself on your profile photo on Facebook, you might not get in. Seriously, because we don't approve people. Because there are some people who just know that we're amazing and they want to join, but they're not Black women. And then there are also people who want to join and be disruptive. So it may be possible that you don't get in. Yeah. Yeah, Alicia, yeah, somebody said that not too long ago, and I was like, you just don't know yet. Welcome. Wait until you see, right? We're out here thriving, right? Retirees out here thriving, bopping around. Digital nomad life is wonderful. I'm gonna tell you, being or not, I guess it's not digital nomad life if you're not working. It's just nomad life. It's freeing. Somebody says, hey, I'm going to Rwanda, which I've been trying to get to Rwanda for I don't know how long. Hey, I'm going to Rwanda for a few weeks. You want to join me? Yes, I do. Why? Because I don't have roots. I'm not tied down to a place. I didn't shipping, 4 pallets of stuff here. I can go wherever I want, whenever I feel like it. Pack up me and my dog. Adelia travels with Mia, right? Pack up me and my dog. We out. We going to the next place. So where can I thrive? Yeah, so decide what you need to thrive. You may not know yet, right? You may, because we're always unfolding, right? We're always growing and evolving. And some things that are priorities to you today won't be priorities later. And the reverse, some things that are not priorities today will be priorities later, right? Maybe if I had picked a place a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have cared about having a swimming pool. But I want a swimming pool, right? after after a couple of really bomb house sits with swimming pools, I'm like, this is my life now. I deserve. I deserve. Yeah, so some things are not important to you at one point, but they may become important to you later. But where can you thrive? Write out what you need to thrive, right? If food, I have learned that there are people for whom food is not very important. I didn't know that, but there are people who don't base their decisions around food. I will make an entire day's plan based on what I want to have for dinner, okay, or what I don't want. Food is very important to me, and so these bland countries, I don't, I don't know. I don't know if I could make it. I did not have bad food experiences in Costa Rica, but we stayed on two resorts. The times that I've been to Costa Rica, I have not yet been to Costa Rica as a nomadic person. I've been to Costa Rica as a vacationer, and I ate really well, really well. So I don't know. I don't know. When I get to Costa Rica, is the food going to run me away? We'll see. I don't think so because they have. I know they have really good coffee. That's like 40% of the struggle. Really, really good coffee. So yeah, food is. I've learned, Nadine, that there are people out there who don't make decisions, life decisions, based around food. But I'm not one of those people. There are people who don't even really enjoy food. I watched Jada Pinkett and her son, old Red Table Talk, and they don't enjoy food. I didn't know that. Like I didn't know that. I didn't know. So when you these are things that you need to know about people when they start to tell you about a place, because food is important to me. Also, like more ease is more important to me than it was. I talked about my original my gap year travel situations where I did work exchanges. I stayed with people and did work for them while, so that I had a place to stay. Now I want ease. I don't want to work. I don't want to do that. And so that's my needs have changed. Um, and so where I thrived during that gap year would not be considered thriving for me today. Okay, so it's not, no, we're not set in, nothing is set in stone. We're being flexible here. You're gonna eat. The empty nester visited Mexico City in a few weeks to eat. You're gonna eat, right? I learned recently that I don't want to have to go to the grocery store. I want my stuff delivered. That was my main beef with Curacao. My main beef with Curacao was how hard it was to get things delivered. But then I finally got it. It took me probably after the first month. I spent 3 months in Curacao, and after the first month, I got it. I was like, ah. I found the delivery lady. It wasn't like they don't have like an app or whatever, but I found a lady who will do your grocery shopping for you. And then I found the app for the food delivery. Only certain restaurants or whatever, but I got it straightened out. But I learned that that's something that I need, right? I've been a laundry dropper offer for quite a while now. I need that. I don't know that I can't remember the last time I was someplace and that was not easy and convenient. It's always easy and convenient. And then I think Rashida said in Mexico City, there are places who will pick up your laundry. So I've always dropped off my laundry, but they're here in Mexico City, they'll pick it up for you. Yes. Oh, yes, Tiffany. Yeah, I remember I had a couple of different fruits in Costa Rica that I've never had since, that I have not had since. Yeah. Yeah, I want to eat well. I want to, yeah, I want to be, I love when my day is like, oh, I can't wait for lunch. Oh, I can't wait for dinner. I love when food is an important part of my day. All right. Okay, where is it safe? How do I move there? How do I afford to live there? How can I thrive there? What about the kids? Number 5, what about the kids? This is much easier today than it was pre-COVID. Before COVID, people would be freaking out. Moms would be freaking out about taking their kids abroad and what about school? What about school? Now they're like, whatever. We'll do something. So this is less of a concern than it used to be. But just in case you're a mom who is freaking out about educating your kids, it's easy. It's probably going to look exactly, or it could look exactly like it looked for you during COVID, right? It could be your kid in front of a computer. But there are other ways to do it too. There are moms who are unschooling, right? Who are doing things without a real curriculum. And there are moms who are just putting their kids in school in that place, right? Those are the two extremes, I would say, right? Go to a place, put your kids in school there. Problem solved. And then the other end of that spectrum is no curriculum for your kids. They learn whatever y'all do that day, that is what they learn that day. And then in the middle, there's a mix between homeschooling. There's your school may have an online program. Your school district or your state may have a whole online school. Delaware has an online K through 12, right? So it's easier now. Anybody have any concerns about their kids? I know that and somebody's going to comment how old we are. We're past that age, most of us, but we also have some younger women and some newer women and some not younger women who have children. So, yeah. All right. Any questions about the school thing? This has been, I can't remember the last time a woman asked me this on a one-on-one call. It used to be if she had children, it was the first question, but now y'all got that. Okay. And then the final thing is, but what about the spouse? Especially a male spouse, a husband or partner. There usually is some convincing that doesn't have to happen otherwise. Okay. I don't have an answer. I don't know. I don't know how you convince a husband to move abroad if he doesn't want to. So y'all in chat gonna have to answer that. Yeah, I asked the question, but I don't have an answer. In the chat, y'all gonna have to answer how to convince a spouse. I would guess that you're just going to go to a place for a long period of time, and then he'll be like, "Oh, this is wonderful. We should stay." And you'd be like, "Funny you should mention that because we are staying." I don't know. You just have to trick them. Hey, all right, Malka. Hi, I am 48 in 2 months as well. I'm 48 in 1 month. It's hard to say. I'm 48 in 1 month. All right. Yes. Haiku, I did breeze past unschooling. Unschooling is a thing. Haiku says unschooling maintains that a child has interests naturally. You boost those interests. That's the main protocol for unschooling. If the interest changes, the focus changes. Yes, I breezed past it just being like whatever. But yes, it's a real method of educating and raising children, right? You don't need the thought is you don't need a curriculum, right? We learn based on what the kid is into. All right. Okay, the 48 gang. We're the 48 gang. I think Krishan will be 48. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's okay. Krishan, she told us. Krishan will be 48 next month as well. We're the team 48. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so we did it in an hour and 11 minutes. I don't feel like I was very organized, but hope you took notes. Okay, somebody got some help. That's my standard. Somebody got some help. The rest of y'all got to hang out in the chat and talk. All right. Okay. Where is it safe? Step one to your exodus, getting answers to these questions. Where is it safe? How do I move there? How do I afford to live there? How can I thrive there? Like, what do I need? I guess I should reword that. What do I need to thrive? What do I need to thrive? What about the kids? And what about the spouse? Done. Step one, done. You get these questions answered, or you get on the path to answers for these questions, right? Because, like, what do I need to be happy in a place? That's an ongoing conversation that you have with yourself. How can I afford to live there? Some of y'all got it. Okay. I need to bring on an expert who can help y'all loosen up the purse strings. Y'all got it. Some of y'all got it. I mean, I do one-on-one calls. I know. I'm in y'all's business. We'll talk about stuff and then she'll be like, "Oh, but I have this amount in my thrift savings plan." I'm like, "Girl, go today. Book your trip. Book your flight." Yes, some of you need help using the money that you have put aside for this exact reason, right? You put it aside for this reason and now you just don't want to spend the money. Some of y'all are there, all right? That's something that you need somebody can coach you through that. That's easy. Some of you are my financial situation is in shambles. You know what? Somebody can coach you through that too. Picky Girl Travels the World has workshops and a coaching program designed about helping you get a grip on your dough, right? And then putting your money to work for you. Sometimes you got to get a grip on things, right? It's like a runaway train. Sometimes you just got to stop the runaway train, and then you can direct the train to where you actually want to go, to the right destination. Get a coach, right? Picky Girl Travels the World is Adelia, and she's got stuff coming up. I should. Adelia's here. I think she was here. Uh, okay, so if the money thing is always the question. Either use the money that you've set aside to live your life. If you've set aside money to live your life, use it, ma'am, please, okay? Or number two, get a grip on things, get a handle on things, get a real clear picture of where you are and where you can be, right? Number three, get a remote job. If you must work, get a job that will let you work from paradise, right? That's a way. That is a way. And then you can work on letting go of the job later. Hi, Letitia. Getting a good grip on my finances now. Yes, right? Once you get a goal, it gets easier to work on things. The things that you didn't want to do, the things you're like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. Then you have a goal and you're like, okay, got to deal with it. But there are people who will help you. Get a coach. Win the lottery. I'm down with that. Win the lottery. Marry a rich sucker. All viable options. I don't know. What else? I don't know. I don't really, yeah, I don't know. I don't know anywhere, any other way. All right. Okay, we've done it. If you don't have questions for me, we're going to close out so I can go eat some bacon, eat breakfast. Okay, any questions? Remote work is, but again, remote work is a viable option, right? We've talked, a couple of people have mentioned dollar figures for moving abroad, $2,000 per month income, and you can get residency in, where did you tell us, TNT? 2K? You said if we make $2,000 per month and you're over 45, you can get residency in Belize. Psh, that's a remote job, right? That a remote job could be the difference between you living in wherever you live where it's freezing cold, Chicago, going through another winter in Chicago. If if I don't do anything else, I want y'all out of Chicago. If I don't do anything else, no more winters. I declare y'all have spent y'all's last winter in Chicago. I don't know how you do it to yourself. We don't have to feel that way. We don't have to be that cold. We don't have to spend that much money on heating and coats. You don't have to do that to yourself. Yes, okay. So a remote job could be the difference between that and to being team boycott winter. Viv, is it difficult bouncing around with a bigger dog? It is. It is. It is. So there you need with when you're traveling with pets, you need info from the airline and you need the info from the country on bringing the pet in. And yes, some countries will not let some breeds in, period, point blank, right? Particularly the pit bulls and there's two, maybe Rottweilers, two, I don't know, two breeds that are kind of popular here in America. Countries are very, no, y'all not coming. Your dog is not coming here, right? So yes, you're going to have to take some extra steps to decide to figure out where you can go, and you're going to have to take some extra steps to get there, right? The airline and the country are going to have extra steps that you're going to need to take. I think that this would be so. Adelia has a blog post on traveling with dogs, but her dog is small. Mia is this size. So, but Adelia has a blog post on traveling with dogs on her blog, which is Picky Girl Travels the World. I'm going to type girl.com. Picky Girl Travels the World.com. So she does have a blog post about traveling with pets. But keep in mind that Mia is a small dog, and so bigger dogs have bigger have different countries have different requirements, and different airlines have different requirements for bigger dogs. Um, if you're talking about bopping around short term, you may want to get a house sitter slash pet sitter and let your pet stay home. That is an option. This is not me judging or telling you what to do. But if this situation would work out for you where it would be beneficial to have someone in your home taking care of your dogs or pets, cats, chickens, house sitting is a thing. Bring in a house sitter, and that may totally free you up to bop as you please, right? Yes. Okay. So every country is different, Demetria. Any pet regulations or prohibitions, every country is different and every airline is different. So when you're traveling with a pet, you need to Google both. You need to do your research for both. What are the country's requirements for bringing this dog in? And what are the airlines' requirements? Airlines, so like those big dogs have to fly in the bottom of the plane with the luggage, and it's all not all airlines have a good record, right? There are some airlines that have a terrible record in pet deaths, right? Like as a Black woman, I would not want to have a baby in a U.S. hospital if I could have a baby in a hospital in any other country, right? As a pet owner, I wouldn't want to fly with my big dog in the plane in the cargo on some airlines. If I wouldn't do it, right? This is something that you need to do mega research on. There are airlines that will kill your dog, right? Just like in the U.S., there are places where you will not come out alive. You will deliver a baby in the U.S., but you're not gonna make it, Black woman, right? There, this is a yes. You need to do your research on this. That's why I'm saying house sitting is a thing. If you're talking about going for a couple months, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, would it work out for you to have a house sitter and have your dog or pet stay in the home, stay in your home, and have someone there taking care of things so you could bop around? Now, you're talking moving permanently, different situation, right? But if we're talking about a semi-short term situation, that's an option. It is a valid option. I know this because I house sit. I pet sit for people. Infinite possibilities. I brought my cat with me. She flew in the cabin with me. Yes, so cabin-sized pets are much easier, right? A carry-on sized cat or dog, much easier. Mia's carry-on size. Mia flies in the plane with Adelia, right? It's a different situation than a big dog. The question was about a big dog. Like I've heard enough horror stories about dogs flying in planes that I wouldn't do it. I I don't know. I don't know. I I would I would have to know this airline's record specifically, and yeah, it would be very difficult for me to make the decision to fly my big dog in the cargo based on what I've heard. All right. Oh, Spears. I'm going full-time house sitting in 90 days. Not signing my lease, gave my notice. Where do you want to tell us, Terry, where in the country are you? Or are you planning? So I think that some people in some parts of the United States or other places could house sit full time and not have a home. I think so. Okay, you have to be good with pets. This is not going to work for people who don't want to pet sit, right? But I think so. I think particularly Southern California and Northern California, like San Francisco and LA, New York. Sometimes DC. DC is also a very good house sitting. Yeah, no, I'm not going to say sometimes. I'm going to say DC as long as you're okay with we'll go with the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Atlanta is up and coming. Atlanta is also a place where I have seen uh, people being able to back house sit. I think it's a wonderful idea. And then if you're free to bop around the country or bop around the world, wherever, right? If you're a person who it doesn't matter where your house sit is, psh, don't have a house. Don't keep a lease. Don't sign a lease. Don't have an apartment. Don't have a house. Just house it for a while. Give yourself that freedom. The UK, right? UK is house sitting central. If you're interested in spending some time in the UK and whatever, that's another place where you don't need to worry about block. You don't need to worry about getting a place to stay. Yeah. All right. Good, Terry. Did you? Let's see. Ah, C.A. Williams, 2K7. I just left my home of 10 years. Okay, where did you go? Someplace warm with a pool? Let's see. Malka, I refuse to pay for my house, the 2,300 per month while I'm gone. Yes, I'm liquidating and will travel light just in case I don't thrive there. Yes, where I go. Yes, then you can bop. If you get someplace it's not for you, go someplace else. Yes. My father keeps saying minimum 90 days to figure it out. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know. Some places you just know. Some place I have been to a place and been like, oh, I don't really like it, but then stayed longer and be like, oh yeah, I like it. I like this. I got to the right neighborhood and now I like it. I've also been places where like, no, it's not for me. I'm looking at you, Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, Malaysia, not for me. I think I got him, but it's still showing up. I think I moved him. All right. Yes, Texas also. Texas is also booming for house sits, particularly Austin. Yeah, I think Austin in particular. House sitting is popular in places with transplants. House sitting is very popular in places where people. Tampa is also another place where I've seen lots of houses where I could back to back to back house sit. House sitting is popular largely. hmm, It's popular in a lot of places, but one of the things that some of these places have in common is that they have transplants. They have a lot of people who have moved there from other places. Yeah, so yes, good. I'm glad that you're doing that, and I hope that here we go. Terry, starting here, visiting family. Good. Going with a group to Africa in November. My list is Costa Rica, okay? Then continuing for a few years. Good, Terry. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we don't talk about that enough. The sabbatical, taking a break from work and visiting your family, like visiting the people you haven't been able to visit because of work, right? Spending time with the people who um, you just haven't had a chance to spend time with. You missed weddings and graduations and all of that. Yeah, go house sit near them. Hang out with them for a while. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. All right. I don't see questions. So we're going to wrap this up. I'm wearing my This T-shirt Gives Black Women a Break T-shirt. This is our Vacarians T-shirt where the profit from the shirt goes to the Vicarian Sabbatical Fund. The Vicarian Sabbatical Fund is a sabbatical fund by us to send a Black woman on sabbatical. We're sending Maisha Francis first. Maisha Francis is an artist from New Orleans, excuse me. Maisha Francis is an artist from New Orleans, and okay. So I don't know. I don't know the figure. Somebody gonna ask me right now, how close are we to 25,000? We're less than. I know we're not at 12,000 yet, so we're not halfway there yet. But I don't know where we are. I know we've got to be past 8,000. I have money to put over from. I've got money from February, March, and April to add to the pot that I haven't added over to the pot yet. So I'm going to guess we're between 8 and 12,000. I'll say that. We're somewhere between $8,000 and $12,000 towards our $25,000 goal. And the money from the t-shirts go to that fund as well. These t-shirts are at vicarious.com/merch, vicarious.com/merch, or you can, if you're on a laptop, you'll see a merch shelf under this video, I think. So I'm wearing this. I finally got home because I made the shirt while I was in, I think, Mexico. So I didn't have a shirt. I made the shirt, but I didn't have a shirt. And then my mom came down to Curacao with her shirt, but I didn't take it from her. I left. First of all, it was too small because she's a little person. First of all, it was too tight, and second of all, like, it was her shirt, so she brought her shirt back home, and so now I'm home, and now I have my shirt. But there are a few different designs. So we've got t-shirts and sweatshirts that say this t-shirt or this sweatshirt gives Black women a break. But we've also got boycott winter merch and these jobs ain't loyal. That's all I can remember. I think that's it for now. Yeah. So those things are at vicarious.com/merch or in the shop that's underneath this video if you're watching on a computer. All right. Okay. One more. Dana says, how would your house sit life change if you didn't have a true home base in the US? Would it matter to you to have a storage unit or Airbnb in the US? I can't imagine that I would pay for storage. I am a cheap person and I can't imagine that I would ever have paid for storage. I would have given some stuff to some people, right? So if it wasn't for, I don't really have a home base. Well, it's hard to, I don't know how to explain it. It's not hard to explain, but I'm in my parents' house, but it's their house, right? I'm in my room, which I made it my room in their house. This is a house that they moved into after I was grown. So I made the guest room my room. But if I didn't have this, I would just give some people some important stuff, I think. I can't imagine I would pay for storage. I can't imagine. I'm cheap. So I would probably, like, some things that you need to have: birth certificate, right? I wouldn't travel with things that I can't travel with, but that I need to have. I would probably give them to people or pay for like a safe deposit box, maybe. But I really can't imagine having a storage unit. I can't imagine paying that. Like, I can't imagine, it's because they're not cheap. And and when I first started house sitting, I was a virtual assistant, but I wasn't making any money. I couldn't even have afforded storage if I wanted to. Um, Let me see. How can I answer this where it's helpful for you? How would you house sit? How would your house sit change? Excuse me, if you didn't have a true home base? Okay, so all that to say, I've never had to face this because I not only are my parents here in Delaware in Dover, but the whole family. Like, I would give I have cousins and I have lots of people that I could give stuff to. So, but if I needed a storage unit, I would I would use a storage unit. So if you're saying you don't have a home base, you're not going to keep a home base, what do you do? Find the least expensive option in the least expensive city to get to. If you're going to bop around Central and South America, excuse me, uh, it might be easier for you if you establish storage or something in Miami instead of in Oregon, right? So you may need to establish a something storage, safe deposit box or whatever. You may need to put that in a place where it's going to be more convenient for you to get back and forth to, and a place you want to go visit, right? Like, if you're done with, somebody talked about Colorado earlier. If you're done with Colorado and you don't want to have to keep bopping back and forth to Colorado at random intervals, don't establish your home base in Colorado. Make it in Florida. Make it in Texas. Those are also two states where you get no state income tax, right? So it may be worth it for a digital nomad or a house sitter to establish residency in one of those states for money reasons and for convenience purposes. Yeah, so don't overlook convenience in the answering the question of where do I put my stuff. Dover, not super convenient, right? I have to fly into a place and then get to Wilmington and then get from Wilmington to Dover, right? But so I wouldn't, if I didn't have family here, I would probably have picked a place that's easier to get in and out of, and gotten my established state residency, become a resident of that state, and then gotten a box, like a storage box. And then some people do get a home base and just have a really, really, really inexpensive apartment, even with roommates, right? Just get a room, somebody else's house, but this is your room in their house. You pay them a couple $100s a month. Then you at least feel like you have your stuff in a safe place, and you have a safe place to go back to when you want to just lay down. How did I do? Yeah, C.A. Williams. So C.A. Williams is saying start with storage first, and then once you get to the point where you find that you don't need the stuff, you'll get rid of it. I have not found that to be the case, though, honestly. I have found that people who start with storage keep their stuff in storage for years and years and hate it and resent it and get sick of it, but don't have the ability, the time, the effort, the energy to deal with it, right? We talked to Keisha during the summit. Keisha was in Spain for 3 years at that time, had stuff in storage for more than 3 years, and couldn't tell you what was in it. Like, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. So it's true that the stuff that you put in storage is stuff that you're most likely going to be like, I don't even need it. I don't even want it anymore. I don't even know what it is, except for the important stuff. Like I say, some stuff you do want to keep, right? Some birth certificates, like your birth certificate, that's all I can think of. I need a place to keep my birth certificate, maybe an important picture photo album. Nobody know. I have stuff that nobody knows where it is anyway, right? Nobody knows where my high school diploma is anyway. So who cares about that? I'm thinking, like, what would I really, really, really need to store if I didn't have this room here? That's about it. That's a safe deposit box, which I would assume is a lot cheaper than a storage unit. That stuff, I've not seen it work out in anybody's favor. I've not seen a storage unit work out in people's favor. Last resort, that. Make that the last resort. Yeah. Oh, VS006. I spent $80 to $100 a month for 7 years and then gave everything away. That's the common story. That is the common story. That don't do that. If you don't have someone you can trust with the most important things, then pay for the smallest possible space to keep that stuff, and make it in a place where you can get to it when you need to without having to fly all up and through the country. If you're going to Central South America or Mexico, get yourself a small thing in South Florida. Make it easy for yourself. Yeah. Adelia says a safe deposit box and a virtual mailbox, and you're all set. Yeah, I like the storage situation. It never has a good happy ending. I've not heard, except for Clarice, who got residency in Jamaica. She went to Jamaica first for a few months, and I believe she had things in storage, and then she came back, got them out of storage, and actually shipped things to Jamaica. Right? She did things completely in the way that I wouldn't do. Right? But she knew she was going to Jamaica permanently, and she knew that she had a deadline on the storage. One-off. That's a one-off story. I have not heard that from anybody else. Everybody else is, hey, I still have things in storage, and it's been 4.5 years, right? Right now, calculate what that unit would cost you for 6 years, and then look at that stuff. Is it worth that? Is it worth that? Somebody is in the chat right now telling on herself. A name I was not going to call is in the chat right now telling on herself. But seriously, calculate what is the monthly cost of this storage? Multiply that times 12 times 6, right? Multiply, and then look at the stuff. Now, is it worth that? Don't store it. Don't store it, right? Find somebody who can take it, who can whatever, find any other solution other than storage. I can't imagine paying for storage. I cannot. Okay. Yes, Tosh Patterson was on here talking about decluttering, right? We have a wonderful video here with Tosh talking about decluttering. So go back and watch that. If this is a struggle for you, go back and watch the video on my channel on decluttering, right? You'll see. Okay, it's helpful. It's helpful. No, you're not on the wrong path. Clarice, who is Mocha Moiselle, like Mademoiselle, but Mocha, Mochamoizelle. I'm pretty sure this is how you spell it. Clarice, who is Mocha Moiselle on YouTube, just got residency in Jamaica. She's from Mississippi. She has permanent residency in Jamaica. Loves it. You're not on the wrong path. You're not on the wrong path. I think Jamaica is just a little, um, it's like Mexico where people don't see it as exotic, right? Like, oh, it's just Jamaica, right? But you're not on the wrong path. There's a large community of Black expats and repats in Jamaica. People who have lived in America, people from the U.S. or people who have lived in the U.S. who are moving to or moving back to Jamaica. You're not on the wrong path. Yeah, yeah. Now, and we did a video on the Caribbean, and we talked about Jamaica, Curacao. I couldn't give much info on Curacao. Barbados, which is really popular, and Grenada, which is very chill, but seems amazing. Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. So Simi says learning that Rashida had storage helped her feel better. How many months, Rashida? Do you know how many months your things have been in storage? Rashida's got things in storage in Northern California. I don't know that I've ever heard the dollar figure, the monthly dollar figure, and I don't think I would want to hear it. I think it would make me nauseous. I don't know. This is not a Dover, Delaware storage unit. This is a Northern California storage unit. I think it's Northern California. Do you know how many months? Yes, I'll miss my bed. Yes, okay. So some of us have spent a lot of time making our beds, getting a bed that is comfortable and luxe, right? That's a way that Black women have done a really good job of treating ourselves in conversations. I've heard this a lot, right? I'll miss my bed. I've done a lot of work to get the bed that I love, get a bed that I love. All right. Calculate it. Calculate it. What's 6 times 12? 72? So if a storage unit is going to cost you $200 times 72, is that bed is that bed worth that? Then for you to come back and then give it away? Because you're not going to, when are you going to, are you moving back? I didn't finish reading your comment though. I've moved globally and only leaving America is hard. I know it's because we have things. Yeah, yes, that's very true. That's a good comment. We have things. We don't have community. We're very tied to the things. And for some of us, it's real easy to leave the people. It's easy to leave the people, but the struggle is leaving the things. But what about, oh my gosh, for me, I don't remember. I had a garden stool, like those ceramic garden stools. It was just a really pretty color. It was like a tealish, bluish color, and it was just really cute. And it was ceramic. And I had hunted for it for months and months. Literally, looked for that stool all over. Waited for the price, like not looked for it. I think I just waited for it to drop for months and months. Waited for the price to drop, and I bought it. And then when I left, that was the first thing I got rid of. Like I didn't have a big attachment to things. I was done. I was fed up. I was ready to go. But for a lot of us, that's the problem: the attachment to things. And that might be a reason why, because we don't have really the attachment. We don't have community. We do have things. I like that comment. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to think on that. I'm going to be pondering that for the rest of the weekend. Yes, right? So find somebody who is gracious enough. My stuff is in this closet. That's the closet, right? Well, some of it I moved, some of it I got rid of, some of it I just moved. So there's another room here. Some of it I actually decluttered and got rid of, and some of it I just moved into the other room so that the closet is now free. Yes, right. I understand that there are some of you who don't have anybody who you can give a couple of Rubbermaid containers to, but that's what I started out with. I think I had 2 or 3 Rubbermaid containers. And then every time I would come back with more stuff. So the closet got fuller and fuller and fuller. But that was really a money saver. I don't even know how much money that saves me. over storage. I don't even have, Adelia said the, whatchamacallit, Adelia said the virtual mailbox. I found that all my mail was junk mail, but virtual mailboxes are not that expensive. So it could be very well worth it if you don't have someone to send your stuff to, if you don't have an address. I don't know the difference financially between a virtual mailbox and a post office box. If you're, it depends on how often you're coming back and who's sending you stuff. The post office box isn't a good solution if you're gone for months at a time. But if you're talking about, forget the post office box. That's not a good solution because it's going to just be filled with junk mail every month. Rashida's mom, hey Miss Dow, over 4 years, 50 months. I can't imagine. I am cheap though, so money is it's different. I'm cheap. I don't think money is real, but I also don't want to spend it on stuff. Money is not real. It's not real, but it's also like I don't want to spend it. I don't want to let it go. Okay. Virtual mailbox. You just Google them. So the what's it called? The FedEx store, UPS store. So some people use like the UPS store as their virtual mailbox, but you can and work. What are they called? Co-working centers. Some of the co-working centers run virtual mailbox as well. Just Google it for your city, or for the city that you want yours in. Right? Just Google. When I had my virtual mailbox in 2015, I don't think there was one in Delaware at a reasonable price. My virtual mailbox was in LA. Right? I think I paid $12 or $17 a month for my virtual mailbox for a little while. And then I was like, it's all junk mail, cancel. Cancel. I don't even remember what the address was. So your virtual mailbox doesn't have to be in your city because it's all virtual. They take your mail, they scan it, you get the email. Here's your mail. And then if it's something you want them to keep for you, you tell them. If it's something you want them to shred, you tell them. It was simple, but like seriously, I was rudely awakened. I don't know. I thought I was a person who got important mail. Turns out I don't. I don't get important mail. I was like, oh, this is all junk mail. Why am I paying you $12 a month? Natural Bay, when you're Airbnb for a few months, what's the best way to store cash when you may not have much access to ATMs? I just separate it. I hardly ever have cash. I said I as in I have I have cash. But if you're gonna have a lot of cash, separate it a lot, right? Assume that somebody's gonna find one or two of your stacks. Separate it a lot. Um, some Airbnbs, you may want to book an Airbnb that has I don't know. Do Airbnb? Have you ever seen an Airbnb say they have a safe? And if they did, they would have the combo, so it wouldn't really help. I would just say separate it, right? Separate the cash in case somebody finds a stack of it. In case the housekeeper or whoever finds a stack of it, you have a stack of it somewhere else. Even without cash, I do that with my credit cards. I try my hardest to not have my credit cards and my debit card in the same place. And actually, I have multiple debit cards because I have the business cards and stuff. Yeah, so I just keep them in different places. Uh, yeah, separate them out. Yeah, I think that's it. Right? Anybody else have a better answer? So like I have um, a pouch thing in my backpack. I have my old suitcase had a hidden zipper thing, but my new suitcase doesn't. Um, and then I had, yeah, so I would keep my wallet on my back. Like if I'm going through the airport, this is a travel day. My wallet is in the backpack with me, but in the separate zipper thing, I have the credit card. I never kept the credit cards, and then sometimes I would even separate the credit cards and not have the. Sometimes the I have two main cards. Sometimes the two cards are together. Sometimes the two cards are in two different places. Just keep it all separate. Yeah, just keep it all separated. Okay. All right. We've walked through the beginning steps of your Exodus. Okay. Remember to join the Exodus Summit Facebook community. If you're a Black woman planning on your sabbatical, your move abroad, your digital nomad life, join us at exodussummit.com/community, or you can just look us up on Facebook. Okay. Join us. And then remember that we're in Cancun and we still have a few hotel rooms. So if you're in the Cancun Facebook group and you haven't bought your, if you haven't bought your ticket yet, get your ticket to the meetup in Cancun 4th of July weekend. If you have bought your ticket and you still are working on your hotel, we still have rooms available. So go to the meetup Facebook group. That's the group that's specifically for the confirmed ticket holders, which you should already be in if you already have a ticket. And you'll see the info for the hotel. We have a few rooms left on our block. You know how hotel rooms do. We have a few rooms left on our block. Okay? All right. Okay, thank you, friends, for being here. Thank you for spending time with us. Yes, Nubianette says please hit the like button. Yes, please take a second. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you. All right. Yeah, okay. And then yeah, thank you for being so helpful. Thank you for answering each other's questions. Thank you for taking good care of each other. Thank you for being so generous and kind with me. All right, I'll see you again next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Every day, every week, I'm like, let's tell you. And then I'm like, I don't know. So I'll see you again next Saturday. Have a good weekend, friends. Happy, this is a long weekend for some of you. I hope y'all take some naps. Put some naps on your calendar. Schedule some time off if you have a long weekend. Okay. Bye, guys.